Night was silent in the small house on the edge of the town. The walls carried no sound except one, the soft and broken sobs of a woman. She sat on the bed with her back against the cold wall, her eyes red, her face pale, and in her hands, an old photograph. It was the photo of her husband. He had left many years ago, and since then her nights were never peaceful. She cried every night, but she always tried to hide it. She wanted to look strong in front of her son. She smiled when the sun rose, cooked meals, and spoke softly during the day. But when the world grew quiet, her tears returned. She cried until sleep took her. She cried until her pillow was wet. Her son, however, knew the truth. He was young, but he was not blind. Every night he could hear the muffled sobs through the thin wall between their rooms. He could hear her whispering the same words again and again. "Why did you leave me? Why did you leave us?" The boy hated those words. He hated the emptiness in them. He hated the silence that followed. And more than anything, he hated feeling powerless. He wanted to help his mother. He wanted to take away her pain. But what could a boy do when even his father had failed her? Still, he made himself a promise. He whispered it into the dark room where no one else could hear. "One day, I will find someone who will protect her. I will find someone who will never make her cry again." The next evening, the boy walked home from school. The sun was low, painting the sky in red and gold. He kicked a stone along the dusty road, his mind heavy. Other children laughed and played around him, but he felt no joy. His only thought was his mother. She would be home soon, pretending to smile. She would make dinner, asking about his day. And then later, when the night grew deep, she would cry again. He clenched his fists. "I can't let her live like this forever," he thought. "And there must be a way. There must be someone out there who can make her happy again." As he reached the gate of their small home, something caught his eye. A strange light flickered in the corner of the yard. It was faint, like a firefly, but brighter and colder. He stepped closer. The light seemed to come from under the soil, as if something buried was calling out. Curiosity burned in him. He dropped his school bag and fell to his knees. With his small hands, he began to dig. The soil was damp, and soon his fingers touched metal. He pulled harder, scraping the earth away until a small device appeared. It was smooth and dark, covered in lines that glowed faint blue. It looked like no toy, no tool, nothing he had ever seen. His heart beat fast. "What is this?" he whispered. The device pulsed in his hands as if it had heard his voice, and then, without warning, it came alive. Blue light burst out, forming shapes in the air. Strange letters glowed around him, symbols he could not read. But in the middle of the light, an image appeared, a world filled with stars, ships, and creatures not of Earth. The boy froze. His breath caught in his chest. He wanted to drop the device, to run back inside and hide under his bed. But something inside him whispered, "This is the answer. This is the beginning." The hologram showed warriors standing tall, defending weaker creatures. It showed families reunited. It showed hope. The boy's eyes filled with fire. Maybe this is how I can help her. Maybe this is the way I can give her the life she deserves. He clutched the device close to his chest. His small hands trembled, but his heart felt strong. For the first time in years, he felt he had a purpose. That night, when his mother cried again, he did not simply lie awake listening. He stared at the glowing device under his blanket. Its light flickered softly, like a heart beat, and he whispered to himself, "I will not let her suffer anymore. If I must call upon the stars, if I must reach beyond the earth itself, then I will. I will find her a protector." The days passed, but the device never left his side. He carried it to school, hiding it in his bag. He kept it under his pillow at night. Sometimes it glowed on its own, projecting stars onto the ceiling. Other times it was silent, as if waiting for him to make a choice. And one night, he did. The boy sat alone in the yard, the device glowing in his palms. He looked up at the endless sky. The stars shone like tiny eyes, watching him. His voice was soft, but steady. "To whoever can hear me, my mother needs someone. She needs a husband. She cries every night. Please, if you are strong, if you are kind, come to us." The device pulsed once, then again, and then it sent a beam of light into the sky, a signal reaching far, far beyond Earth. The boy gasped, his heart racing. He had no idea what he had just done, but he knew this. The silence would not last. Something, or someone, had heard him. The night was colder than usual. The boy lay awake, staring at the ceiling, where faint stars shimmered from the hidden device under his blanket. Every time it pulsed with light, the shadows in his room shifted like they were alive. Sleep did not come to him. How could he sleep, knowing he had sent a message into the sky? He remembered the moment clearly, the beam of light shooting upward, vanishing into the endless dark. He had whispered for help, but what if something else had heard him? What if what came was not kind? His chest tightened, but then he thought of his mother. He could hear her soft cries again from the next room, muffled by the thin wall. That sound burned in him. Fear had no place. If the universe answered, he would be ready. The next morning, the world seemed the same. The streets were busy, the air filled with the smell of bread from the bakery near the school. Children laughed, teachers scolded, birds circled in the sky. But inside him, everything felt different. He walked through the day with the device hidden in his bag, his eyes always looking to the sky. Every flicker of light, every shadow, every sound in the wind made him wonder, is something coming? During lunch, he opened his bag in secret. The device glowed faintly. No one else noticed, but to him, it was as if the universe itself was whispering. When he returned home that evening, his mother greeted him with the same tired smile. She asked about his school, she placed food on the table, and she laughed at his small jokes. But behind her smile, he still saw her pain. Her eyes looked heavy, like they carried years of sorrow. He wanted to tell her about the device. He wanted to shout, "Don't worry, Mom. I've called for someone strong, someone who can love you again." But he stayed silent. She wouldn't believe him. She might even throw the strange object away, fearing it. So he kept the secret to himself. That night, the signal answered. The boy was in bed when the air suddenly hummed. At first he thought it was thunder, but when he looked out of the window, the sky was clear. Then he noticed the stars. They were shifting, not twinkling like normal, but moving, like something large was passing among them. His heart pounded. He ran outside into the yard, the cold grass wet beneath his feet. He held the device tightly. The blue light inside it pulsed faster and faster, in rhythm with the strange sound that now filled the air. And then, in the distance, he saw it, a streak of silver cutting across the black sky, growing brighter, closer. It was no shooting star. It moved with purpose. The boy's breath caught. "It's coming!" The silver light vanished beyond the trees. A few moments later, the ground trembled faintly under his feet. Somewhere far, but not too far, something had landed. The boy wanted to run, but his legs felt heavy. He forced himself back inside, climbed into bed, and pretended to sleep. But his mind was alive. Questions filled him. What was it? Who had come? Was it good? Was it dangerous? He closed his eyes. But the images would not leave. A ship falling from the stars, the blue light pulsing in his hand, and his mother's face wet with tears. The next day, whispers spread in the town. Farmers claimed to see strange lights near the forest. Hunters said animals ran out of the woods during the night, panicked. Some said it was a storm. Others said it was the government testing machines. No one spoke of aliens. No one except the boy. He said nothing aloud, but inside he was sure. He knew what he had seen. He knew what had answered his call. After school, he did not go home. He walked to the edge of the forest. The trees stood tall and dark, the air heavy with silence. He held the device, and again it glowed faintly, as if guiding him. The boy stepped inside. The deeper he went, the quieter the world became. No birds sang, no wind moved the branches. Even the crunch of leaves under his feet felt too loud. And then he found it. A circle of trees bent outward, scorched black. In the center, the soil was burned, steaming faintly as if it still held heat. The air smelled of metal and smoke. Something had landed here, but it was gone. The boy knelt, touching the ground. His fingers brushed over a piece of strange metal, smooth and curved. It was warm, humming softly, like it was alive. He slipped it into his pocket. His eyes darted around the clearing, but he saw nothing else. No ship, no creature, no answer, only the burned earth. Still, he felt it, the presence of something greater, something waiting. When he returned home, his mother looked at him with tired eyes. She said nothing as she cooked. She did not notice the dirt on his shoes, the sweat on his brow, or the faint glow coming from his pocket. That night, when she fell asleep crying, the boy sat awake with the device in his hands. It glowed brighter now, almost alive. And then, for the first time, he heard I. A voice, soft, broken, hidden beneath static but real. It whispered through the device. Signal received, moving closer. Wait for me. The boy's heart stopped. His hands shook. Someone was coming, and the strange signal he had sent into the stars had been heard. The voice haunted the boy all night. Signal received, moving closer. Wait for me. It played again and again in his head like a whisper from the stars. His small hands clutched the device tightly under his blanket, his heart racing with both fear and hope. He had asked for help. He had asked for someone strong to come for his mother. And now something had answered. But what kind of being would walk out of the sky? Would it be kind or cruel? The next morning, the boy walked through his house like a shadow. His mother called his name, asking him to eat, but her voice sounded far away. He nodded at her words, but he could not listen. His thoughts were only on the voice. When he stepped outside, the air felt strange, too heavy, too still. The world was waiting, just as he was. That afternoon, clouds gathered over the forest. They were thick and gray, swirling in unnatural patterns. Thunder rumbled, though no rain fell. The boy froze when he saw the blue glow begin again from his pocket. The device pulsed harder and harder, as if it were a heartbeat. And then, it happened. A great light cracked open the sky. Not lightning, something brighter, cleaner, alive. The ground shook. Birds fled from the trees. Dogs barked across the town. The boy ran. His feet carried him without thought, straight into the forest, straight to the clearing he had discovered. And there it was. A ship stood in the middle of the scorched circle, sleek, silver and taller than any house he had seen. Strange marks glowed along its sides, symbols he could not read. The air around it hummed, filling his bones with vibration. The boy's breath caught in his throat. He should have run, he should have screamed for help, but instead, his eyes widened with awe. A door in the ship opened. With a hiss, blue mist spilled out, curling like smoke. And then, a figure stepped forward. It was tall, taller than any man, with broad shoulders and long arms. Its body shimmered with silver armor that looked like it had grown out of its skin. Its face was strange yet familiar. 2 eyes, though brighter than any human's, glowing softly like moons. Its voice, when it spoke, was deep and calm. "Human child," it said, "you called me." The boy froze. His lips trembled, but words escaped. Yes, I asked for help." The being tilted its head, studying him with those glowing eyes. "You are small, but your signal carried strength. Your heart is loud." The boy held up the device with shaking hands. I wanted someone to protect my mother. She cries every night. She's alone." For a moment, the forest was silent. The being's face softened, though it was hard to read. Then it nodded slowly. "Your request is pure," it said. "And for that, I came." The boy's chest filled with warmth, but also fear. You'll help her?" The being's voice lowered. "I am a protector. My kind once guarded your world, but long ago we left. Still, some of us wait for signals, calls of need. Yours reached me." The boy's eyes shone. "Then you can be with her? You can make her happy again?" The being did not answer right away. It stepped closer, kneeling down so its glowing eyes met the boy's. Its presence was powerful, almost frightening, yet there was no anger in its movements. "I do not take lightly what you ask. Protection, yes. But love, that is something different. That is something earned." The boy's heart sank for a moment, but he nodded. "Then stay, please. She needs someone strong." The being placed one large hand on the boy's shoulder. "Very well, I will meet her." That evening, when the boy returned home, his mother was sitting by the window. She looked tired. Her eyes swollen from tears. She turned when she saw him, smiling faintly, but her smile vanished when the tall figure stepped through the doorway behind him. The mother gasped, stumbling back. What is that?" "Mom, wait!" the boy cried. He ran to her, grabbing her hand. "He's here to help us. He's not dangerous." The alien bowed slightly, lowering his glowing eyes. "I am no threat to you, human. Your son called me." Her face went pale. "Called you? What do you mean? What are you?" The boy squeezed her hand tighter. "Mom, please. I asked him to come. I asked for someone to protect you. I don't want you to cry anymore." Her lips trembled. She looked between her son and the strange being, her mind racing. Fear, confusion, anger, all stormed inside her. "You don't understand," she whispered. "No one can replace your father." The being's voice rumbled softly. "I did not come to replace. I came to protect. And perhaps, to tell you why your husband left." Her heart stopped. She stared at the figure, her breath caught in her throat. What do you know about him?" she asked. The being's glowing eyes locked with hers. I know he did not leave because he stopped loving you. He left because he was chosen. He left because Earth needed him in a war you do not yet understand. The mother's knees went weak. She collapsed into the chair by the window, her hands covering her mouth. The boy stared in shock. A war? What do you mean? The alien's voice grew heavy, filled with both sorrow and warning. Your father was not lost. He was recruited. He fights still, beyond the stars. The room fell silent. Only the sound of the mother's soft sobs filled the air. But this time, they were not only of sadness, they were of fear. And the boy realized his world had just become much bigger than he ever imagined. The house was quiet, but the silence was heavy, almost painful. The tall alien figure stood in the corner, glowing softly like a lantern in the dark. The mother sat frozen on the chair, her hands trembling. Her eyes fixed on the visitor as if he might vanish if she blinked. Her son sat near her, his small hand gripping hers, trying to calm her. His voice was soft. Mom, don't be scared. He's here to protect us. But she pulled her hand away and shook her head. Protect us? Do you even know what you've done? You brought this thing into our home. Do you understand how dangerous this could be? The boy's chest tightened, but he held his ground. He's not dangerous. He came because I called. Because you cry every night. Because you need someone. Her face twisted in pain. You don't understand, son. No one can just take your father's place. Not a man, not an alien, no one. The alien spoke at last, his deep voice calm, but filled with weight. I am not here to take his place. I told you already. I am here because your husband's story is not finished. You deserve to know the truth. The mother's eyes darted toward him, sharp with anger and fear. The truth? What truth could you know about him? He left us. That is the only truth that matters. The alien stepped closer, though slowly, as if trying not to frighten her. His glowing eyes dimmed slightly, softer now. He did not abandon you. He was chosen. Your husband became part of a war older than this world. He left to defend humanity from enemies you cannot see. Tears welled up in her eyes. She shook her head violently. No, I don't want to hear this. Don't lie to me. Don't make excuses for him. He left me. He left his son. He left us to suffer. Her voice cracked and she buried her face in her hands. The boy leaned toward her. Mom, please, he's not lying. He knows things about Dad. Maybe Dad didn't want to go. Maybe he had no choice. The alien looked at her with quiet patience. He cried when he left you. That pain gave him strength, but it also made him vulnerable. He fought not only for Earth, but for you. Every moment of his battle was filled with memory of your smile, your voice, your son's laughter. The mother's sobs quieted, though her body still shook. She lifted her head slowly, her red eyes searching the alien's glowing face. And how do you know this? The alien paused. His voice grew deeper, almost sorrowful. Because I fought beside him. The boy gasped. His heart leapt. You knew him? The alien nodded. He was brave, braver than most. He carried love like a weapon, and it gave him power. But it also gave him enemies. That is why he could not return. If they found you, if they found your son, you would be the weakness they used against him. The mother's chest tightened, her trembling hands clenched into fists. So all these years, all this pain, all those nights crying alone, it was because of some war I never asked for. The alien lowered his head. Yes, and it is not over. That is why I am here. She stood suddenly, her chair scraping against the floor. Fear turned to anger, hot and sharp. Get out of my house. I never asked for you. I never asked for war. I only wanted a family. The boy stood too, desperate, his voice shaking. Mom, stop, please, we need him. If Dad is out there, then maybe he can help bring him back. Maybe we can see him again. Her face softened for a moment at her son's pleading eyes, but then she turned away, hugging herself tightly. You don't understand, my sweet boy. I already lost him once. I cannot live through this again. The alien watched silently, his expression unreadable. Finally, he spoke, his voice low and steady. You are right to fear. War always takes. But know this, whether you wish it or not, danger is already moving toward you. Your husband's enemies know of this place. They will come, and when they do, you must decide. Will you stand alone, or will you accept my protection? The mother's body shook as tears streamed down her face. She could not answer. She did not know what to believe. The boy, however, stepped forward, holding the glowing device tightly in his small hands. His voice was clear, stronger than ever. Then I decide. You will stay. You will protect us. I don't care if Mom is scared. I called you and I won't let you leave. The mother gasped, staring at her son in shock, but she saw it in his eyes. Determination she had never seen before. The little boy who used to cry quietly in his room was gone. In his place stood someone stronger. The alien nodded. So it shall be. That night, the house was uneasy. The mother lay awake, her heart torn in two, one part filled with fear of the strange being under her roof, and the other aching with the possibility that her husband was still alive. The boy, however, slept with the device by his side, his dreams filled with stars and battles and the hope of a family healed. And far above Earth, in the cold darkness of space, something stirred. A shadowed fleet began to move, answering the same signal that had called the protector. But their purpose was not protection. It was conquest. The night stretched on like a shadow with no end. Inside the small house, the air was heavy. The alien protector sat silently by the window, his glowing eyes fixed on the stars. The mother lay on her bed but did not sleep. The boy, curled under his blanket, could feel the tension pressing against the walls. For the first time, the boy had hope, a chance to understand why his father had vanished. But for his mother, hope only brought more pain. Every truth spoken by the alien tore open wounds she had tried to close. When dawn came, the light of the sun did not bring peace. The mother sat at the kitchen table, her eyes red, her hands wrapped tightly around a cold cup of tea. The alien remained still, patient, waiting. The boy finally spoke the words that trembled inside him all night. Tell us more. Tell us what really happened to my father. The alien turned, his glowing eyes softening. He looked at the boy, then at the mother. Slowly he nodded. Your father was not chosen by accident, the alien began. His deep voice filled the small room, calm but heavy. He was strong, yes, brave, yes, but it was his love for you, for your mother, that made him special. That love is power. It is what drew us to him. The boy leaned forward, his heart racing. So he didn't just leave us? He was taken because he was special? The alien shook his head. No, he was asked, and he agreed. He knew that saying yes meant pain for you both. He knew he would be gone, but he also knew that if he refused, Earth would be weak when the enemy returned. The mother's hands shook, her voice cracked with bitterness. So he chose the world over his family? He chose strangers over us? The alien's eyes glowed brighter. He chose both. Because by protecting the world, he protects you. You live now because of his sacrifice. Her lips trembled. She wanted to scream, to curse, to deny. But deep inside, a small part of her heart ached with recognition. Her husband had always been that way, carrying burdens quietly, sacrificing himself for others. The boy whispered, "Where is he now?" The alien was silent for a long moment, his voice lowered, rough like stone. He fights still. Beyond the edges of your sky, there are battlefields you cannot imagine. Vast ships, weapons that tear stars apart, creatures that consume whole worlds. He is among them, but... The boy's chest tightened. But what? The alien's glowing eyes dimmed. He is wounded. I do not know if he can return. The boy's heart sank. His mother's breath caught in her throat. He is alive? She asked, her voice sharp with desperate hope. The alien nodded. Yes, alive. But each day he survives is a battle against death. And soon, his enemies will look here, to Earth, to find the weakness in his heart. The boy's small fists clenched. Then we have to help him. We can't just sit here while he suffers. The alien's deep voice rumbled. That is why I came, to prepare you, to warn you, and to train you. The mother stood suddenly, her chair scraping across the floor. Her face was pale, her eyes filled with fear. No, I will not let you drag my son into this madness. His father left and now you want to take him too? I won't allow it. The alien turned toward her, his presence filling the room. If you do nothing, they will come anyway. They will find him. They will find you. The choice is not whether to fight, but how. She shook her head, tears spilling down her cheeks. I just want a normal life. I want my family back. Is that too much to ask? The boy looked at her, his own eyes wet. Mom, Dad left because he wanted us safe. And if I do nothing, then all of this will be for nothing. Don't you see? This is our chance to be strong. This is our chance to make him proud. Her lips trembled. She turned away, her shoulders shaking with silent sobs. The alien placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. His voice was quiet but strong. Humans are fragile. Yet you are also more powerful than you know. Your father proved that. And now, the same power lives in you. The boy looked down at his small hands, then back at the alien. He felt a fire burning inside him, the same fire he felt when he heard his mother cry at night. He nodded slowly. Then teach me. I want to be ready. The alien's glowing eyes locked with his. Very well. But remember this truth, child. Power is not only for fighting. Power is for protecting. Never forget why you fight. The boy's voice was steady. I fight for her. For my mom. For my dad. For us. The mother stood in the doorway, silent tears streaming down her face. She wanted to beg him to stop, to run, to hide. But when she looked at her son, she saw something new in his eyes. Strength, courage, a spark of his father's spirit. And for the first time, she realized something. Terrifying. She could not protect him anymore. The world was changing. The war was already here. That night, as the boy slept with the glowing device by his side, the alien stood watch at the window. His eyes scanned the sky, where faint shapes moved among the stars. The enemy had heard the signal too, and they were coming. The days that followed were no longer normal. The small house on the edge of town became a place of training, of whispers, of secrets. The alien protector, tall and watchful, guided the boy every morning before the sun rose. The boy learned to run without tiring, to climb trees with speed, to fight with sticks that burned his hands. He learned to listen, not with his ears but with his heart, to feel the ground's tremor, to sense when danger moved near. At first he stumbled, his arms were weak, his legs shook, and more than once he fell to the dirt, gasping for breath. But every time he remembered his mother's tears, and he forced himself to rise. You carry the fire of your father, the alien said one morning, watching as the boy stood again, bruised but determined. It burns in you, never let it die. The boy nodded, sweat on his face, resolve in his eyes. Inside the house, the mother watched quietly. She did not join them. She cooked, she cleaned, she worked, but her eyes always turned to the yard, where her son trained under alien guidance. Fear filled her, twisting her chest like a knife. She wanted to stop it, to lock the door and keep her son inside forever. But when she saw the way he pushed himself, the way he refused to quit, she saw her husband's shadow in him, and she could not bring herself to end it. Still, the nights were the hardest. She would sit by the window, staring at the stars, wondering if her husband was out there, alive or dead, and now she wondered if her son was walking the same path, a path of sacrifice she had never wanted for her family. One evening, the alien called them both into the yard. His glowing eyes were dimmer than usual, his voice heavy. They have heard the signal, he said, the ones your husband fights, the ones who seek to break Earth before it learns its strength. They are moving now, across the sky. They will come here. The boy's eyes widened, his fists clenched with excitement and fear. When? How soon? Soon enough, the alien replied. Perhaps days, perhaps less. They will test you first, send scouts to measure your strength. Then the true storm will follow. The mother's breath caught, her hands trembled. You mean, they'll come to our home? The alien's glowing eyes locked with hers. Yes, because of him, because of his father, because of the signal. Her face went pale. She whispered, broken, I told you nothing good would come of this. The boy grabbed her hand, his voice firm. Mom, don't be scared. We'll protect you, he'll protect us, and I'll fight too. Her eyes filled with tears. She pulled him close, holding him as if he were still a small child. I don't want you to fight, my son. I just want you safe. The alien's voice rumbled like distant thunder. There is no safe, only prepared or unprepared. That night, the first test arrived. The boy awoke to a sound, not his mother's sobs this time, but a sharp hum, like blades cutting through the air. He sat up, heart pounding. Outside, the trees glowed faintly with strange light. He ran to the window. Shapes moved in the dark, crawling, slithering, too many legs, too sharp. Their bodies shimmered like liquid metal, their eyes glowing red. The alien was already outside, standing tall, his silver armor alive with light. He turned his head toward the boy and shouted, Stay inside, guard her! But the boy could not stay. He grabbed the glowing device from under his pillow and ran into the yard. His mother's voice cried out behind him, but his feet did not stop. The creatures hissed, their red eyes locking onto his. Mej, one leapt forward, faster than his eyes could follow. The boy raised the device, and a shield of blue light burst out, throwing the creature back into the trees. The alien's glowing eyes widened. Good. The device listens to you now. The boy's heart raced. Then let me fight. The alien swung his arm, striking another creature with a flash of energy. Its body cracked and dissolved into smoke. You are not ready, but the war does not wait. The mother screamed from the doorway, her voice filled with terror. Stop, both of you, stop this madness. But the battle had already begun. For what felt like hours, the clearing was filled with flashes of blue and red, the hiss of alien metal, the cries of war. The boy fought clumsily, his arms shaking, but every strike of the device sent power through him. Every time he stood his ground, he felt stronger. Finally, the last creature fell, its body collapsing into black dust that blew away in the wind. The yard was silent again. The alien stood tall, his armor dimming, his breath steady. The boy dropped to his knees, exhausted, sweat pouring down his face, but a fire burning in his chest. The mother ran to him, pulling him into her arms. She was crying again, but not just from fear. She held him tight, whispering, "My brave boy, my foolish, brave boy." The alien's voice was low, almost solemn. This was only the beginning. They will come again, stronger, in greater number. The true war is on its way. The boy, leaning against his mother, lifted his head. His eyes were tired, but his voice was steady. Then let them come. We'll be ready. The alien looked at him, and for the first time, a faint smile crossed his strange face. But above them, hidden in the black sky, shadows moved. Larger ships, waiting, watching. The storm was closer now. The sky over the town had changed. For days, people whispered of strange gets at night, of shadows moving above the clouds. Some said it was weather. Others blamed machines or secret tests. But in the small house on the edge of the forest, the boy, his mother, and the alien protector knew the truth. The storm was coming. The alien stood guard each night by the window, his silver armor glowing softly in the dark. The mother no longer cried herself to sleep, but her eyes carried a deeper worry now. She feared not loneliness anymore, but losing the only family she still had. The boy had grown stronger. His body was leaner, faster. His hands no longer trembled when he held the glowing device. Each day he trained harder. Each night he dreamed of stars, of war, of his father still fighting somewhere in the endless dark. And then the storm arrived. It began with a low hum in the sky, like the earth itself was groaning. The boy and the alien stepped into the yard, their eyes on the horizon. A fleet of black shapes cut through the clouds, their edges sharp, their red lights burning like cruel eyes. The mother ran outside, gasping in terror. "Oh my God, what are they?" The alien's voice rumbled. "The ones your husband fights. They are here now, and they will not stop until they take what they came for." The boy lifted the device, blue light flickering in his hands. His heart pounded, but he stood tall. "Then we fight." The alien turned to him, his glowing eyes steady. "Remember what I told you. Power is for protecting. Do not let anger guide you." The boy nodded. He thought of his mother, of her tears, of his father's sacrifice. He whispered, "I'll protect her, no matter what." The ships hovered above, and from them poured dozens of creatures, metal-skinned, insect-like, their claws slicing through the air as they descended. Their red eyes locked onto the house, onto the boy, onto the device in his hands. The alien stepped forward, his voice echoing across the clearing. "You will not take him!" The battle began. Blue light clashed with red fire. The alien's armor shone as he struck dough. Owned creature after creature, his movements a storm of strength. The boy fought beside him, the device flashing shields and bursts of energy. Each strike rattled his bones. Each wave of force drained him, but he refused to fall. The mother stood in the doorway at first, frozen with terror. But when one of the creatures broke past the fight, lunging toward her, something inside her snapped. She grabbed a fallen branch, swung it with all her strength, and struck the creature's head. It staggered, hissing, and the alien finished it with a blast of light. The alien turned to her, surprised. "You are stronger than you know." She was shaking, but she stood taller. "I won't let them take my son." The fight raged on. The boy's arms grew heavy, his vision blurred, but still he stood. The device pulsed brighter, as if feeding on his determination. And then, amid the chaos, the largest ship descended. From its belly emerged a figure different from the others. Taller, darker, its armor jagged, its voice like a storm. "So this is the child," it growled. "The weakness of the great human warrior, his family." The boy's chest burned with anger. "He's not weak, and neither are we." The enemy raised its clawed hand. Red fire gathered at its palm, glowing brighter and brighter. The alien protector stepped in front of the boy, spreading his arms wide. "No, this is not your fight." But the boy pushed past him, lifting the device high. Blue light exploded from it, forming a massive shield that blocked the enemy's attack. The ground shook, the air burned, but the shield held. The alien's glowing eyes widened. "Impossible. You should not have this strength yet." The boy's voice trembled, but did not break. "I'm not fighting alone. My father's strength, my mother's love, they're with me. That's why I can fight." The enemy roared, lunging forward. The boy and the alien fought sides by side, striking again and again until the creature staggered. The mother, clutching her branch, screamed and swung once more, distracting the monster long enough for the boy to unleash the device's final blast. Blue fire engulfed the enemy. It shrieked, its body breaking apart into shards of red light before dissolving into nothing. The sky grew quiet. The ships above shuddered, then pulled back, vanishing into the clouds. The battle was over. The boy collapsed to his knees, exhausted. His mother ran to him, pulling him into her arms, tears streaming down her face. "My son. My brave son." The alien stood tall, his armor cracked, his body weak, but his eyes glowing with pride. "You have done what even warriors twice your age could not. You are ready now." The boy looked up at him. "Ready for what?" The alien paused, then lifted a broken piece of enemy metal. From it came a faint, flickering voice. The boy froze. His heart nearly stopped. It was his father's voice. "Son, I am still here. I will return soon. Wait for me." The boy's eyes filled with tears. His mother's hands covered her mouth as sobs shook her body. The alien placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. "The final choice will come, child, to stay or to join him among the stars. But whatever you choose, know this: humanity is not weak. You proved that today." The boy looked at his mother, then at the sky where the stars still glowed faintly. His voice was soft but certain. "We will be ready when he comes home." The night fell quiet again, but nothing was the same. The war was far from over, but in a small house on the edge of town, a family had found something stronger than fear.